David Hume. Whoops, and looping the pass. They'll obviously try and work it out to a fire, and a great roar as Jonathan Davies tastes the Odsal mud, and here's the ringing of the crowd's noise. So Jonathan Davies is obviously going to be a marked man, but he seems to be adopting it all with a very philosophical humour. Mumby leaves it for Mercer this time, and the New Zealander decides to come across field with a fine tackle on him by Barry Dowd. Possession's going to be very important in these conditions as Mercer goes on another tilt over the 25. So David Hobbs is a good kicker, and that's one that Afaya's going to have to go back and pick up. Now the slips, and he slips, and more ironic cheering from the crowd. Tate. O'Neill, wearing the scrum cap today. And we've seen plenty of Jerry Kershaw from Easingwold on scrum down recently. Simpson's got a bit of room. Now, what can he do against the fire? Well, the Great Britain man tackled him, but he's still got his pass into McGowan, who's hauled back by Jonathan Davies. Hobbs. Oh, and the ball put down by Wilson. So the referee says play on. Or does he know? Well, I thought he'd signalled the ball had gone back. Bradford inside the Widnes 25 now. Missed out McGowan, gave it to Skerritt, who bulldozes his way to about 12-15 yards out maybe. Noble acting halfback. Hobbs, Pendlebury involved. Couldn't squeeze Fairbank through. And there'll be another penalty given to Bradford against Sorensen for not letting. He's not kicked this one, and a disappointing miss for Bradford. The take is by Skerritt, who sets off, head down, and straight into a four-man Widnes brick wall. That's just what you were talking about earlier, David, and Skerritt's so willing to take people on. He's very, very strong, as is McGowan, who's run really well in these opening phases. I think he caught his own. Now the Widnes just outside the 25 with Pike. Hume and O'Neill in harness, and O'Neill thought he got away from Pendlebury's tackle, but just did enough. Grimmer. So Widnes in a position of some menace here, just by the Bradford 25. And they're all camped as O'Neill looks for the play the ball. And Mackenzie fooled them there, and the pass is going to get Darren Wright in for the game's first try. Bradford really caught napping, and Wright scores. Darren Wright going through a huge gap there. There's a lovely ball from Dowd.
Well, this is Widnes' first real attack, but lack of concentration in defence. A gap opens up, takes the ball on the burst and just canters through for an early start, and that won't do Bradford's confidence any good at all.
Well, Hobbs missed from a very similar position indeed for Bradford. What can Andy Currier do? Well, he can do rather better than David Hobbs managed, and Widnes go into a 6-point lead.
Well, questions must be asked here of the defence. Mackenzie just dummies to go right, and look, the defence just isn't moving in to tackle. He really canters him for a try, and that doesn't do their confidence any good at all.
So they're put in by David Hume, and Widnes will have it. And there's danger again here as Davies sets off and carves his way through two defenders. And the first chance we've seen of Davies on an attacking guise. Yeah, really put his foot forward there as he went into that tackle. A penalty awarded to Widnes. And if Widnes get 8 points in front, it's going to be hard for Bradford to come back at them.
That's a surprise, isn't it?
So Currier has another chance from an identical position. And the result is identical too. And it's Bradford Northern 0, Widnes 8, and just the start Dougie Lawton wanted. Good ball from Hobbs to Stewart, and an equally good one inside for Hamer. And that was better from Bradford. They strung something together that time. Stewart, and Simpson's popped up on the left now. Back inside is Russell Stewart, and this is much better. Noble now, 10 yards out. And this is Bradford's best spell. And the penalty given to Bradford Northern as Wright and Ake were just exchanging blows off the ball. Midway through the first half, and David Hobbs has a great goal-kicking record for his country as well as for his clubs, Featherstone, Oldham and now Bradford. He's kicked 89 this season. And that is number 90. And that was vital. So Bradford are on the scoreboard. Well, it's been a troubled season for Barry Seabourn and the Bradford Northern club as a whole. They lost Phil Ford, of course, early on. They've never really settled into the rhythm expected of them. Tate, what an excellent break by Alan Tate. Oh, the Scottish fullback made a good 40 yards. And that won applause even from Bradford fans. O'Neill now. It takes some holding these days. And if he carries on playing like this, who's to say he won't win back his Great Britain spot? Rimmer. Widnes are really buzzing around here, moving that ball, but Davies put it down, and it's picked up now by McGowan. Oh, and then he puts it down as well. And the referee says play on. And again Skerritt barging his way over halfway. Pendlebury. Oh, and a good ball given by Hobbs. Animated Jerry Kershaw. It's Widnes' ball. And that kick could be dangerous with the speed that Widnes have got in their backs. And, well, as everybody's after this one, and Mercer's just got there first. And perhaps the most exciting moment of the game so far.
This is a good tactic. They win the scrum here and they move the ball out. But you see the kick ahead, they've got so many quick people, and Tate already in the line then, so the move had obviously been worked out long before it. And it really is a rush for this ball. Mumby is being left, but fortunately across comes Mercer and kicks it, fly kicks it back over the dead ball line and saves a very difficult situation.
Now then Bradford with a chance to run, and McGowan makes the break and cuts across the field. He'll try and straighten up now. Good tackle. And McGowan's run as well as anybody for Bradford, along with Skerritt. Wilson, Noble across, and now Hobbs. Long ball flung out, and Mercer comes over onto the right-hand touchline, lobs it back inside. Brian Noble and Simpson are there, and plunging over the try line is David Hobbs. Well, Bradford did so well to keep that one going on the last tackle and to get their 4 points.
Well, Bradford are starting to put it together a little bit now. They're throwing out some long balls here. Hobbs throws a very long ball outside. Now this is a good break by Mercer on the outside. He runs it back inside. Simpson is brought down by Alan Tate. Virtually there, but look out there. That's good thinking by Hobbs. Takes it off him, whips it in and scores.
And this one looks better, but unlucky. 6-8 though, and Bradford back in it.
Well, Bradford have moved it about. Now, David Hobbs got into this move twice here, and look at that. Now, that's good thinking by David Hobbs. But there was some doubt there, perhaps, as to whether or not he actually laid the ball to ground, but the referee said it was, and a try was given.
And the Bradford crowd really having something to yell about now, because suddenly their side is calling the tune here. Now it's Wilson and Stewart. 15 yards out. Pendlebury, they're trying to create the gaps, and Fairbank was roaring up there. Wilson, now then, there must be a chance here if they can time the pass this time. Oh, is he over? Yes, he is. And that's owed everything to strength. What a good try for Bradford Northern. And they've come back with Kelvin Skerritt, the man we were talking about at the start. Shows his strength again. And Bradford, having been 8 points behind, go in front.
Well, Bradford have come back into this game with perseverance. They've moved the ball out well. They've caused trouble to the Widnes defence. They've stretched them here. And Skerritt, we talked about, this is where he's good at. He holds people off. His sheer strength and weight takes him over. A marvellous try. Right, really, at a good time for Bradford Northern.
Hobbs, very difficult kick. Way out on touch and way through the middle of the post. Well, he missed one in the opening minutes, which looked simple. And he's kicked the most difficult one of all, and Bradford are 12-8 in the lead. So can Bradford produce anything else just before the break? They're only a couple of yards out. Desperate defending this for Widnes. Pendlebury's kicked through, and over in the corner. No, it's not a try. It's not a try for Mercer. And you can gather his anguish.
Well, that was most disappointing as far as Bradford is concerned. That's a superb chip ahead by Pendlebury. I can't really see what was wrong with that at all. I can't see anything at all wrong with it.
Keep expecting the sound of that hooter. It just hasn't come. As the ball is put down, it's Widnes who kick ahead, and they'll keep kicking ahead. And Currier could actually get a try for Widnes here, right on half-time. Is he going to make it? He's dribbling it soccer style over the line, and Currier is going to score for Widnes. And that is a sickening blow for Bradford. They've had all the pressure in the last few minutes. They've had a try of their own disallowed. And then right on the hooter, a minute and a half, in fact, into injury time, Currier hacks his way through and gets a try for Widnes.
Well, that's bad play by Bradford Northern, because they know that there's only a few minutes before the hooter actually goes. They try to move the ball. It doesn't happen that way. Currier kicks ahead. He's got everybody now running back. There's no hope of the defence catch him. That's all he has to do, is toe the ball and keep it in front of him to cross the gain line. He does just that. A sickening blow before half-time. Silly mistake by Bradford.
No is the answer. The ball sails wide. So in the first half, Widnes took the scrums, but only by 6-4. And Bradford's Brian Noble actually won 2 against the head. The penalties conceded not bad in these conditions. Widnes conceding 4 and Bradford 3. And Bradford made 7 errors to Widnes' 6. So quite acceptable figures. Now on the field now, number 14 here is Andy Sullivan, who's replaced Barry Dowd for the second half. Dowd was limping, so Widnes won't want to pick up any other injuries because it would look doubtful as to whether he'd be able to come back on. Pike, that was a good ball as well, and Hume. Oh, Widnes moving it nicely now, and Currier once more kicking through. Well, he's kicked through to good effect once, and there'll be a penalty here against Bradford. Currier brought down. And Currier going close to the line. And throwing the ball back, but the touch judge's flag is raised. So we'll have a scrum. Wilson to feed it. Wilson to take it out. Russell Stewart, one of the two Kiwis, well, three Kiwis now that Aki's in. Mercer as well, of course. Well, David, that finish to the first half has really set up the second.
Yes, it does, actually. Both sides have made a lot of silly mistakes. It needs tightening up on both sides' part. Bradford have given away 2 simple tries to Widnes, and that's really brought Widnes back in the game when, if they'd have had that disallowed try, they could have had it home and had Widnes dead.
Coloto's strength carries him clear, and Jonathan Davies couldn't take the pass, and so Bradford fall on it. Coloto really showing what a mountain of a man he is. Hobbs out for Simpson, who took it acrobatically. Dougie Lawton just glancing there, and Joe Grimmer having a bit to say at the moment. It is a critical game for Widnes, no doubt about that. Coming into the last month of the season, and every point vital for them. Sullivan, well, that's the second time he's run with good purpose. Tate, his kick ahead, and his run, and it's when they kick that Bradford seem to be in trouble. Mercer again has to put the ball dead, but the kicking has been an excellent part of Widnes' game this afternoon.
Yes, they're using it right, because if you look at it, Bradford's defence is coming up rather quickly, and when Alan Tate comes in like that, the chip over the top, Andy Currier did it once as well, Alan Tate did it that time, and really it's really been scrambled efforts to get the ball away to save them from scoring tries.
And of course, they'll get the ball back here as Mumby drops out. And it's Sullivan. Good tackling by Skerritt and Noble combining. Dragged him 10 yards back. Coloto. Sorensen. Skerritt, who's such a popular player here with the Bradford fans. And there's a Widnes man absolutely stretchered out. Oh, Mercer. Hobbs for Bradford. Oh, and a good ball for Mercer, and inside is Stewart. Now Pendlebury. Reverse ball and coming roaring up is Carl Fairbank. Wilson tries to keep it going, and he can't squeeze the ball away. He's held now. Again, Pendlebury involved, and Mumby. Bradford fans thought there was a head tackle. The referee says not, and on the last tackle now. What can Bradford do with this one? A little kick through is going to be good. And David, when Bradford play like that, you do wonder why they've had such an infuriating season.
That's right, because you can sense it when they actually take the ball on the run. Both Brian Noble, Skerrett, John Haymond, Hobbs, they have a fine pack of forwards, and I would have thought that they should have made more use of it.
Bradford's ball and Wilson and Stewart, and there are chances here once more. It's Mercer. He deserves a try for his efforts. And it's Widnes' turn to defend their line, and there's a huge overlap on the right if they can get the ball away. Fairbank does, and if he puts it down right, there's a try. And Bradford worked that so well for Steve McGowan. He gets the touchdown, and it's try number 15 for him this season. Steve McGowan, a good finisher. And the man who got a hat-trick against Fulham earlier in the season in the Cup gets his 15th.
Well, we said about moving the ball out and their forwards taking the part, but look how straight they run onto the ball all the time, and that's important. Skerrett yet again. Now that's good play. Look, he drew 4 people into him then. It made a simple task for Fairbank to give the ball out, and McGowan's persistency in backing up gets the try.
So, a difficult kick for David Hobbs to negotiate, but he's kicked one from a touchline already. Wasn't the best again, they make the mistake. The ball is given away, and Darren Wright has his second try. And yet again it's down to a mistake, and yet again the score's a level.
Well, an infuriating, really, display by Bradford Northern. They've done so well. There's no need to get the pass out here. That was direct there. They really needed something to take it in. It just presented it with him on a plate. It's brought Widnes back into the game, and for that they'll be more than grateful.
Yes, you can't afford to make mistakes like that, and Darren Wright goes on to 13 tries for the season. Who went out to Australia as a replacement for the injured Sean Edwards. And it's Currier's turn to kick from way out.
Come on!
Well, the score has really oscillated. Important kick, but Currier way off the mark. But we're back level. Hume, short of the chip over the top then. Sparing his blushes, but I remember David Watkins was doing that here for Salford. But Bradford suddenly get the ball close to the line, and it's Skerrett. He's had an outstanding game in the Bradford pack. Didn't look to play that ball, but it doesn't matter. The referee didn't see it, and they nearly scored as well. A couple of yards out, and again Widnes have to defend that line. And what a tackle by Coloto! Nearly took him underground. Stewart, and again they'll look to create a gap on the right. Fairbank switches it back for Wilson. Oh, and the ball goes out of Wilson's grasp. Well, the ball seemed to go out of the hand. Whose hands is it in? It's still in Widnes' hands.
Well, just watch this tackle now. When this Kalota comes up and really knocks him down, that's the way to tackle. No hesitation.
That's why they call him the Tongan Terror. Well, that's a difficult one, right under the posts. And he's done well to get that far. There's Alan Tate. 6 more tackles. Bodies all over the place. Neil, looking to him to make a relieving run. The crowd have enjoyed the game. It wasn't the most beautiful afternoon when they arrived here, but it's 16 points all. It's a stirring encounter now. And a kick for Davis. Simpson was immediately surrounded. Very little room in which to manoeuvre there, but McGowan has a chance now. He's one of those tall, rangy runners. They often compare him to the likes of Eric Ashton, I mean, in style.
Well, he is tall, and sometimes he steps out of tackle as well. But he is causing problems to the Widnes defence.
And Skerritt didn't just step out of one there. He sent his man spinning, and he's got a penalty too. And he's enjoying it hugely. Sorensen versus Skerritt. Hobbs will try and curl it in. It's curling, but it's not quite curled round enough. And Sullivan makes the take and makes the run, and then the pass is fumbled. And it must be someone make use of these 6 tackles. And Skerritt will be the first man up, as he's been all afternoon. He's never stopped. And of course, I've got to think about that drop goal chance. The crowd are chanting Northern. Pendlebury goes, and Pendlebury gets to within 12 yards. And again, David Hobbs goes for the drop, and it's flat. And the glum expression says it all.
Yes, I think they would have been better to have had in 2 more drives in, and what they want to do is don't make it too obvious. The acting halfback is the one who ought to pick it up and take a pot shot.
So the ball back in Widnes' hands. And indeed it's all over. And we have had a draw here at Odsal Stadium. The points are shared, and it was quite a gruelling encounter at times. But a welcome point for Bradford Northern, and 1 more for Widnes in their chase for a 2nd successive championship.
Then Twitter Championship. Bradford Northern 16, Widnes 16. Hull 18, Wigan 28. Hull KR 18, Salford 24. Leeds 32, Castleford 18. Oldham 24, Wakefield Trinity 8. St Helens 10, Featherstone Rovers 31. Warrington 33, Halifax 4. And in Division 2, Barrow 20, Sheffield Eagles 24. Batley 25, Workington 14. Chorley Borough 4, York 6. Hunslet 11, Doncaster 8. Keighley 38, Mansfield Marksmen 6. The match between Rochdale Hornets and Fulham was postponed. Runcorn Highfield 8, Dewsbury 48. Swinton 16.
Repeat of the Yorkshire Cup final at Headingley with Leeds meeting Castleford. It was a fine flowing game, and a typical Leeds try coming up here. A fine break by Carl Gibson, and he finds the supporting John Bentley just in time for the former England Rugby Union man to romp over for the game's first points. That one was converted, but Castleford came right back into it with a good break from Keith England. And Castleford, keeping at it, managed to squeeze the ball away for Bob Beardmore. And again the support was there from Anderson and from Ruckley, and it's Giles Boothroyd who goes over. He was a scorer, of course, in that Yorkshire Cup final as well. So Castleford back in it there, and in fact they led 10 points to 8. But it was a good first half performance from Leeds, and they kept plugging away at the Castleford line And when Roy Powell intervened, Gary Schofield was there as well. And the ball switching around between the hands, Phil Ford hauled down just short of the Castleford line. And Castleford having to fight hard to organise the ranks, and when Lee Crooks slips a lovely ball, there's a try for David Creaser. So Leeds were back in front then at 12 points to 10, and before half-time they managed to conjure up another try, and a rare one indeed for loose forward David Heron. A really good sprint by him. Now, if the entertainment had been good in the first half, it was just as good in the second. Castleford, having brought on Roy Southernwood, profiting there from Southernwood's kick, and Tony Marchant goes in for the 100th try of his career, and it came at a perfect moment for Castleford. 20 points to 14 it was then. But Leeds, who'd won at Hull Kingston Rovers during the week, always threatened to get more points, and a fine break here by Creaser sets them up once more. Substitute Lord carried the move on, so did Carl Gibson. And Gary Schofield is over, scoring for the second successive game. Perhaps he's coming back to better form. Castleford still not finished, however. And again, Southernwood involved in a move. Anderson holding on really well. Boothroyd getting the ball away. And Mark Gibson goes over, his first try in Castleford colours. But it was still to be Leeds' day. Ashton, Heron once more involved. And again, desperate defending for Castleford. Leeds always looked as though they were going to plunder another try from this situation. Heron took some hauling down. And Gary Schofield pointing there, indicating perhaps the up and under. And that's exactly what happens here. Schofield had read it right. And some disarray in the Castleford ranks, and behind their own line, up pops Carl Gibson. He's over for the try. And by now the fans convinced that it's going to be 2 more points for Leeds. And David Creaser caps it all with a goal, his 6th, and that's 1,000 points for him in a Leeds shirt. Final score, Leeds 32, Castleford 18, Leeds go top. Well, we'll be back in 5 days' time for the Good Friday Humberside derby between Hull and Hull Kingston Rovers. But this was the day when the Championship really began to bubble at the top. Disappointment for season-long leaders Castleford, and frustration in Odsall's mud for the defending champions Widnes. Good night.
Next week at 11 o'clock on Yorkshire K2, a story of triumph and tragedy on one of the world's greatest summits.